Welcome back. The Pentagon is also reacting to news of National Security Advisor Mike Waltz stepping down from his post. CBS News senior national security correspondent Charlie D'Agata joining us now. Charlie, how does this affect the Pentagon?
Well, Mugo, this is the National Security Advisor, and nothing says national security like the U.S. military and the Pentagon. And, his position was key in working with Secretary Hegseth, as we've seen made public. The conversations that they take place, he would gather that information and talk to the Secretary of State, talk to the intelligence community, and then provide President Trump and the Trump administration with a way forward in terms of tactics and decision making. So, there hasn't been any comment, not surprisingly, I suppose, from Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. Obviously, there are many on the Hill who have suggested that President Trump got the wrong man, that Secretary Hegseth should have been the one to go, because it wasn't that Waltz had opened up that signal channel, but it was the information that Secretary Hegseth shared on that signal channel. It's been considered sensitive, if not downright classified. So there's a sense here, anyway, that maybe the axe hasn't fallen. There may be more to come, but at least the pressure is off for a few weeks, because the head to have gone is Waltz and not Hegseth.
Right. We shall see if more heads fall on that one. Charlie, I also want to ask you about this, because what do we know about a second military zone along the border with Mexico?
Yeah, so NORTHCOM dropped this last night. It's another step forward to militarize the border by sending troops, active duty troops, to reinforce Border Patrol and other authorities. Now, this is the second one. We reported on the first one, southwest of the border. According to that statement from Northern Command, it will be along the border between Texas and Mexico. It's sort of extending the presence that's already there. So Fort Bliss is already there. So it's going to be around 63 miles east of that, to block or certainly discourage the flow of migrants. As I said, the second base, that's in addition to the one that's set up in New Mexico. It's strange. It's only around 60 feet wide, but it's around 200 miles long. So, and that was set up last month. In both cases, anybody caught trespassing into these so-called national defense areas, which are really military installations, they can be temporarily detained by active duty troops until they're handed over to Border Patrol agents. So this reinforces Defense Secretary's repeated comments. He was at the border last week to protect the borders by essentially deploying, suited uniformed military there. And it's kind of a workaround, because active duty troops are forbidden from engaging in law enforcement. But the Pentagon has already deployed something like 8,000 active duty troops there. And as I said, they are enabled and empowered to detain anybody who trespasses into those areas. There are Navy ships involved, and spy planes also part of that effort.
Okay. All right, Charlie. So we have learned there could be a military parade on President Trump's birthday. What can you tell us about that?
Well, I can confirm that there could be a military parade on that time. That's what officials are saying here. They're kind of on standby waiting for the orders to go. But call it a happy accident or a coincidence. Maybe it was planned that way. The Army is celebrating its 250th birthday right around the same time as President Trump celebrates his 79th birthday. So we can confirm from defense officials that the Army is planning for potential military parade. It would include thousands of troops. We understand as many as 6,600 soldiers will take part. Wow. There are going to be some military vehicles like Bradley fighting vehicles and Strykers. There's some question about tanks rolling through, because I can tell you from experience, they chew up asphalt. So they're figuring out a way to maybe get those on flatbed trucks. As far as we can tell, this is the first military parade of its kind since 1991, when there was a national parade celebrating victory in the first Gulf War. That even predates my career as a war correspondent. And we also note that the Army is 1 year older than the nation itself. In fact, all of the branches will be celebrating a 250th anniversary with multiple ways of marking that moment.
All right, Charlie D'Agata, thank you so much for your insight there, and also history lesson today. We appreciate it.